Welcome back to another community tier list. This time I'm recording on YouTube, so we've got significantly more voters. If you guys ever want to be a part of this, subscribe. I might do more in the future. But today we are ranking the assault weapons. And thank you to the tier maker people for giving me early access to this demo so we can all vote as a community and see which ones are the best weapons. And conveniently, they added this little section down here so we can see the upcoming weapons. We have exactly 42 weapons, so it's just 14 by 3. Nice, perfect rectangle. It's beautiful. I wish all of them worked out like this, but it's just not possible. And a disclaimer I have to make for every single one of these videos is that this is a community tier list. I was joking when I said the ultimate because not everybody's going to take this seriously. We have all different power levels in chat, all different experience levels, and honestly, I've seen some amazing weapons get put in F tier before, and some really bad weapons can get put into S tier for the memes. So just take all of these votes with a grain of salt. Maybe watch my personal tier list, which is a bit more serious, and I'll obviously be commentating this as we go along. So yeah, if everybody in chat has the link, which they do, pin at the top, let's just hit start and get right into it. So kicking it off with the Argon Assault Rifle. This is a slow firing AR, which sounds like it's shooting faster than it is. It's locked to energy and its damage is pretty okay. This is definitely like a B tier weapon. I think the community is split between C and B tier. I kind of get it either way. It's a weapon that has been cloned with like the electroshock rifle through the starter packs. I actually supercharged that copy because it felt so good to use, but the Argon Assault Rifle, I don't know. It always felt wrong. Like there was a lot of flare when you shot it, and it sounded twice as fast. I didn't like it. But looks like we're putting it in B tier. Yeah, I think that's where it should be. But this weapon is the Pulse Pounder. It's slow firing, high damage when aimed in, and then it's fast firing, lower damage, I believe, when you're hip fired. It's locked to energy, one of the new invasion weapons. I don't love it. The community is going C tier. I think it does like A tier damage, but it has no crowd clearing at all, and it does take medium ammo over energy, surprisingly. So I don't know. I'll go with the flow and vote C tier. I think that's fair enough, but yeah, I don't love that weapon. It's one of the less exciting ones in the game. So yeah, we'll just let that run out and move on to the, I love that you can see the upcoming one down here, the Beat Blast. No, wait, it's not going in order? I've been scammed. Okay, I guess we're doing the Primal AR, which is actually one of the other newer ARs. I'm surprised to see this in A tier because it's got a slow fire rate, but it's also kind of inaccurate. So two cons, but it hits really hard and does crazy amounts of damage. Has no crowd clearing again. I don't remember where I put this in my updated tier list, but I'm just kind of voting for feels right now. A tier damage, maybe B tier overall because its crowd clearing effectiveness is next to nothing. And yes, the impossible damage is a thing where it does a ton up front sometimes, but yeah, I'm curious to see where the Hydra go. Okay, Nailer bottom below F tier is very unfair. This weapon hits pretty hard. You can actually pair this with, First Shot Rio in the lead, where the first 6 shots will crit. That can do some really good damage. It's not, okay, so it might be like S tier damage. Headshot elimination cause an explosion helps a little bit with crowd clearing. I would put this in A tier with the right loadout, B tier on its own. I don't know. It depends on how you're voting, and that's another one of those, that's a callback to the asterisk in the beginning where when the whole community is voting, you don't really know what criteria people are using. Mercury LMG B tier, maybe. It's locked to energy. It's a tried and true weapon. It's a nice slow firing, decent damage LMG. It's not exceptional in any way. Its 6 perk used to carry its damage a ton, where every 5 hits cause an explosion. Nowadays, that does 70% of the damage instead of the crazy amount it used to do back in the day. So it's like, in my heart, it's S tier. But in the modern day, B tier is probably pretty fair. There are a lot of weapons that just being locked to energy is a straight 25% damage nerf right off the top. And yeah. Oh, you can skip. Wait, it says skip 42. I don't know what that means, and I'm scared to click it. But I know I can pause the vote. Wraith, I'm surprised. Okay, so I can imagine when I started playing this game, it was like an S tier weapon in everybody's minds. But I've said a lot over the years to like kind of bring down the community rating for this weapon. I think A tier is very fair. It is a base 20% crit chance weapon, which is awesome. It's pretty accurate for the first 10 shots, and then it's really inaccurate, but its fire rate is consistent and solid, and the damage is there. Feels good to use. It's a strong weapon. The perks are excellent. The Wraith is all around a very solid weapon. Affliction goes a long way. I love almost everything about it, but it's just not that amazing for crowd clearing. So S tier needs to do everything in my brain. I think A tier is super fair for that weapon. The Vindertech Pulsar is a burst energy weapon, which has been unremarkable every time I've used it. Yeah, I'm with the community on this one. F tier is harsh, nailers for the nailer, but like D tier makes sense. Like if you have to use it and you are required to get assault weapon kills in ventures, it will work. If you point this at an enemy, you can click their heads and they'll do the death, but it's not exceptional. It's like the last AR you want to use. Maybe not literally speaking, nailer down there, but it's one of the worst options. I think D tier is perfectly fine. We got Sig in chat. He is the most, let's see, he's the most knowledgeable Fortnite hater that I know, because he actually lives with me in this house. And he's a good long friend of mine. He's heard me talk about Fortnite for years, but hates the game and has never played it. So shout out to you, Sig. So I've been kind of ignoring this weapon on screen. Vacuum Tube AR has great chain lightning, great single target damage. It's a semi-auto weapon, which is not great. It's locked to nature, which is not great. C tier is pretty harsh. Again, you can pair it with First Shot Rio and do some really good for single target damage. I'll put it in B tier. I think C is harsh, but I don't really think it's that far off. The community voting 1 tier below where I'd put it is close enough, close enough. And 20 people didn't vote on that poll. Be sure to vote, everybody. Tiger is F tier. This weapon is a scoped, slow-firing weapon. It does do, let's try to think here, fully auto. So it's, I don't know. The damage always disappointed me. You can carry it with totally rocking out. That makes any weapon good. I haven't used it in Modern History. I know Anniversary even put together a whole video to showcase how good it is. She was using Bright Core. That was a weird build. I don't know about that. But I'll put it in F tier. You guys want C? That's fine too. I get it. As long as it's not B, A, or S, we're not going to have any problems, chat and I, all right? We're you know... Yeah, so we got the Grunt. This is a semi-auto, hard-hitting weapon. Again, well paired with First Shot Rio. It's got Affliction, I believe, but it's also got those Spy 6 perks, where if you stand still for a while, it can either raise your shields, your damage, or your damage to monsters or bosses. If you stand still and take advantage of that damage bonus from not moving, that can be nice, but the damage drop-off from having to shoot at a distance, because you're not moving, kind of loses your damage bonus. Like, you do more damage if you just moved and got up front. So I think B tier is fine. If you really, really like this weapon, you like the look, you like the feel, and you really want to make it work, it can be good. But I think B tier is totally fair on that. Yeah, mid is exactly accurate. Floor Flusher is S tier damage by far. This thing can have amazing perks, 44% extra damage to elemental targets. It is really, really good. Crowd clearing struggles. The community says S tier. I don't know. I'm strict about S tier. I need that crowd clearing. I don't remember exactly what I did in my updated tier list. I don't want to like completely go back on my word and rank things completely differently, but S tier, I don't know. I think A tier is fair. It's high A tier though. Very, very high A tier, and that's I think where that one belongs. I'm actually scrolling back on my channel now. I want to see my assault weapon tier. Yeah, let's hit mute on that. Oh, and then my end screen. Yeah, I put 3 weapons in S tier. I'm being very consistent. Terminator. It's like a weaker hacksaw, but it has better perks. It's base game, so everybody gets one. I don't know. C tier maybe. D and F is a bit harsh, albeit maybe accurate. I'll put it in C tier. We've still got 40 people now voting. Be sure to participate, everybody. Cast your vote. Let's see what you think. I know we've only got 30 seconds per vote, but that should be plenty of time. Yeah, I think D tier is fair enough on that. Oh, the Swan. I've wanted this weapon to work. Every time I've wanted to use it, the damage is just not there. The perks are all right. The weapon's okay. It's not super accurate. I don't know. I want to be generous and put it in C tier. Looks like everybody's fighting between C and D tier. I think I'm with D tier. I remember the day this weapon came out. Ben's was power level 90, which is way higher than me at the time. And he leveled up a copy and dropped me in. And we were not the right power level to be truly testing a weapon. And I will say that my modern opinion of this weapon is forged by those times. But it disappointed me. And I even tried it in the future. And it was, yeah. Easiest S tier. Wow, we don't even have any jokers. Yeah, there they come. I was gonna say, for 3 or 4 seconds there, we had nobody even playing around. Scourge is one of the 3 S tier weapons I put in my tier list. It is literally designed by the developers to be the best AR that can exist. It's got great range, great single target damage. kind of slower fire rate than average, but that just saves your ammo because it's already hitting hard enough to kill fast, so you're not even complaining. It's got group damage with the Excellent 6 perk, where if you switch off between the targets, it does 100% of your damage to those targets in a 0.75 tile radius, and it doesn't have to reload. So you can just, well, you guys can vote. You can shoot this weapon continuously, stacking it with crack shot forever. It's an excellent weapon. They had to nerf it by making it energy and physical only. An excellent weapon by all standards. Steam Piston actually hits pretty hard, as I recall. I have not tried this weapon out as much as I should have in the modern day. It has the Steam Cloud 6 perk, which, if history repeats, at least on the double boiler, Steam Cloud's a really good 6 perk, which gives it decent crowd clearing. I suspect this could be an A, B, or C tier weapon. The community seems pretty set on D tier. Again, I don't know if that's an informed opinion or just how they feel. I'll put it in C tier. I'll go against the grain, but yeah, not an extremely exciting weapon. The Siegebreaker, every noob's favorite weapon. You know, I came over from Battle Royale, and it was so nice to have a familiar weapon. And I actually put this in my top 10 ARs list. So A tier is very fair. It's not S tier. Let's not get that twisted. And it's like bottom A tier. And I think that's so well reflected in the votes here. Like, some harsher people than me would put it in B tier. But I think low A tier is where it should be. And I love to see this community engagement, like agreeing with me in real time, because that's kind of where it should be. It's great to get you started. It will work in the end game. It will kill the enemies, albeit not breaking any records, but it'll work. It'll work. This is an obsolete weapon. I believe this is just like the Razor Blade, but a lower rarity. Archer put these in here just to be not consistent. I'm trying to think of the word. Like, he's trying to be thorough. Just put every single assault weapon in the game, even if it's a blue copy that doesn't really get evolved. While you guys vote on that one, I want to just go to the collection book here and see which one it is actually. If you look over here, yeah, it's basically just a blue Razor Blade. So not a very exciting weapon. I'm scared to click this skip button. If I click that, does it skip to the next one? It looks like it. All right. That one's actually an A tier weapon. It's basically just the increased rarity. So yeah, the Razor Blade does really good single target damage. It shoots in a burst, so you can kind of fan it across a crowd of enemies while triggering Affliction on each of them, and actually do pretty decent crowd clearing. It's a base game weapon. It can be any element. It's got great perks. It's a solid weapon all around. A tier for sure. Yeah, again, thank you, Tier Maker. They gave me early access to this, and they took our feedback. I don't know what the 42 is. I don't know what that means, but it does look like I can skip a weapon when it's just kind of not that exciting. Rat King should be right next to Hydra, in my opinion. Apparently the community thinks it's slightly better. I did make a video featuring this weapon, so my specific viewers on my channel might have a bias towards the Rat King. I only covered the Rat King because it came back to the shop. It's about as good as the Hydra. They function identically. They both are slower firing, semi-auto, hard-hitting weapons that pair really well with Rio and have crowd clearing support in the 6 perk slot. They're very similar. I think, don't quote me, I think the Rat King is a slightly stronger variant, but they're so similar that honestly it's just kind of preference. And yeah, the Rat King hits with 5 pellets, so it can trigger that 5 hits cause an explosion every single time. Super fun weapon. Ranger, that's a weapon that I need to try out. I still haven't. I've said I should a million times. The community says D tier, and this is what's great about a vote on a public live stream, where people who have way more experience than me, who perhaps have picked up this weapon more recently than I have, will have maybe a better opinion. The community's saying D tier. I honestly don't know. I'll go with the flow. I'll be a sheep right now. I don't really know. It's the kind of weapon where I am not short on ideas for things I want to check out, and if a weapon is rated this poorly by the community, it doesn't really inspire me to check it out. This is another obsolete weapon. It looks like F is winning. We could just skip to the next one. Pain Train. I think a bunch of people accidentally voted F tier. I think I screwed some people over. I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah, Pain Train should definitely be A tier. The community says S tier. They're a lot more generous than me. It's kind of got all the traits of like the Wraith I mentioned, except for the crit chance. Like, it's a hard-hitting weapon with excellent perks. It feels amazing to use. The aesthetic, if that's important to you, is really there. It feels like you're shooting a train turned into an AR. Very, very fun weapon. It might have S tier damage with certain setups. It'll struggle against crowds. I think A high A tier leaning towards S tier is a fair placement for that. The nailer is, of course, our queen, our queen of the below F tier. We made a whole special tier just for the nailer, and then we've got the silly goofballs putting an S tier. So I don't honestly know why the nailer is picked as like the worst AR in the game. It might be. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying I get it, actually. I don't know why I'm acting so confused. It's slow firing, low damage, slow reload, inaccurate. There's really nothing going for it. There's just nothing going for it. Whether or not it's the true worst, I don't know. But yeah. The FAMAS, better known as the Lynx, or the FAMAS, actually is probably how it's better known because Modern Warfare 2 is awesome. This weapon is pretty popular in my community, at least towards messages at me, from messages directed towards me. It can have triple crit damage, is my whole point. I have never been impressed by the damage on this weapon. I'll give it B tier because it's got excellent perks and it might do really good single target damage versus Mist monsters. It does. Again, crowd clearing struggles. So it's kind of like your 15th pick for a Mist monster slayer kind of weapon. Like, it'll work if you love it, but I don't know. This is not an obsolete weapon. I don't know why to me it looks like a blue weapon. This is the Hunter Killer. Semi-auto, decent range, decent single target damage. I don't know if it's great. Yeah, community's leaning towards C tier. It's another weapon I haven't checked out in a long time. I'll vote with C tier with the crowd because this weapon, again, it's one of those things where I'm not short on things I need to check out. I've got a list on my phone that's super long, and the Hunter Killer is being voted quite low. You know, if there are some people who are like, bro, this weapon's amazing, you've been totally overlooking it, like the Clax, for example, one of my favorite weapons now, then maybe, but yeah. Hammer Crush, I will say, is one of those weapons. Have you tried this weapon recently? People putting this in D tier? It hits pretty hard. I'm not pretending like it's some new S tier pick, but like, yeah, B tier for sure. I think a lot of people set this weapon aside like some garbage filler weapon in the game. It's kind of not, actually. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, and you should give it a try. It's slow firing, it's a little clunky to use, but if you're kind of accurate and you got the right perks on this, you should totally give it a try. I've got somebody in chat right now, I'm calling you out, Alex, asking why the Siegebreaker is in B tier. I ask you, it's not. That's my question to you. It's not. Hacksaw, definitely A tier. So this weapon only has crit damage with no crit rating perks, but totally rocking out exists, so you're kind of good there. This weapon, I was using in a recent video. What did I put on this thing? Was it fire rate, crit damage? I don't know. You guys can find the video. I labeled it like 1.4 million DPS because it's good with the right build. Like with Crackshot in the lead, okay, this weapon doesn't need that much help, but with the right build, Crackshot in the lead, totally rocking out. This thing shreds. It's got a big mag, big fire rate, big damage. The perks nerf this weapon, but not by much. It can be any element. It's got affliction. Excellent weapon. It's a treat to use. Very, very enjoyable. Gravedigger, easy A tier. I think the aesthetic and the prestige in the community might bump this to S tier in the minds of a lot of viewers. This happened with the Jackal launcher in our launchers tier list, but functionally it's an A tier weapon. Yeah, it's S tier in my mind as well. It's easily the prettiest looking AR in the game. I wish more weapons had an aesthetic as gorgeous as that. I love that this is a Halloween weapon through and through, and its damage is actually really good. I've used it because it came back around. It's A tier damage. It's not exceptional, unfortunately, but it's got a 40 base mag, and it's got a pretty slow fire rate. So the Gravedigger actually functions really well. I quite like it. I disagree with S tier, but I quite like it. Gamatron. Gamatron is a burst sci-fi weapon that's energy only. It's got pretty good 6 perks as the sci-fi weapons do. It's pretty strong. Kind of let me down. Yeah, I used to rank it like S tier, but as time went on and I tried more weapons and I rounded out my opinion, I've tried it in recent years and it did not blow my hair back. I think B tier is super fair. It'll work if you love this weapon, the sound effect, which works now, the burst weapons. Okay, as of recording this is recent news, but I'm so... I have so many scheduled videos on my channel that you're probably seeing this in November or December. Sorry, but that's newly fixed as of recording. So burst weapons, it's got a great... Okay, well, this is easy S tier. That's an easy conversation. But Gamatron, yeah. If you really want to make it work, it'll work. But Knuckle Nocturno. So, pay to win weapon. I know. That aside, it is remarkably strong. If you shoot a target, you'll stack up explosion, and when you reload, it activates. Or if you kill the target, they explode, pushing that damage onto the nearby targets. If you have a crowd of enemies coming towards you, you can start at the front with the baby zombies and just boom, 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 kill everything in the crowd. The Nocturno is an incredible weapon with ideal perk options. And yeah, if you're someone who paid the $100 for that bundle, you should be happy. Now, if you paid the $40 for the bundle and picked the drum roll, like me, well, actually it was 45, I think, or 60. No, I paid 60 for the whatever Founders used to be. It's a great weapon. It has that new 6 perk. Oh shit, new as of like 4 years ago, but it didn't exist when I bought it. So it has a new 6 perk. Actually, here, let's go on a little journey. 6 perk where every 10 shots stacks up damage. I want to show you guys here. If I go to my storage right here, you can see why I call it new. I still have the headshot eliminations cause explosion. This is a legacy weapon. Yeah, don't ask me to trade. I won't do that. I don't care. You probably care more than I do, but I'm keeping it. I don't care. Yeah, now every 10th round ups the damage, which is a great perk. You can just hear the sound, like the psh, 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 whatever sound effect it makes when you shoot it. That's just stacking up the damage more and more and more. It's pretty solid. It's actually pretty good. It's got great perk options, as you saw. I'm running it like double damage or whatever. You can reload with Chaos Agent, so you don't even need to worry about that. That also applies to the Hacksaw earlier. Reloading with Chaos Agent, aka like throwing a grenade as a soldier. Really fun weapon. Really fun. A tier is where it belongs. I think we're all on the same page about that. Okay, so this weapon is the Duet. It is a slow-firing, clunky weapon that, remember when this replaced the typewriter like image in game? That was a bug for a while before this weapon came out. That was fun. This weapon has a Steam Cloud 6 perk. Its damage is C tier for sure, but that Steam Cloud and Shrapnel can kind of make it B tier if you use Totally Rockin' Out and give it everything. I'll put it in B tier. I'll follow you guys, but yeah, it's a pretty unexceptional weapon, and unfortunately, it's in B tier. Dragon's Roar. I'm going to see where the community puts this. It has gone up and down in placements over the years. The Roman candles carry a lot. Anybody watching the stream who wants to join the vote, it is pinned at the top of the chat. Hop on in. Cast your vote. I want as many people participating as possible. I see 90 of you sitting out. It's got crowd clearing. It's locked to fire. It's got built-in affliction. It's got pretty great 6 perks, and none of it helped it. I tried this out with a really helpful build. Like, it was double crit damage, and I ran Totally Rockin' Out, and it was like C tier. It was super not great, and I tried, but it disappointed me. Deathstalker is bad. It's F tier for sure. This is a burst scoped weapon with garbage damage. I do not know what experience with this weapon you guys had to put it in B tier. I tried with this weapon. I tried. See, this is the kind of thing I need to see to encourage me to make a video on a weapon. Like, if so many people are confident that this is a reasonably good weapon when I'm dead set that nobody should ever touch it, that's a conversation right there. That's a conversation. James in chat is saying it's an underrated weapon. I don't know. Maybe that's a future video, but I'm putting it in an F tier. Death Ray. This weapon is kind of like the Argon, but like better or worse. I literally don't know. It'll chew through your energy ammo. I know that for sure. You guys are putting it in C tier. Where did I put it? I got my tier list up here. Where did I put the Death Ray? I'm cheat sheeting off my own list. I put it in C tier. Yeah, honestly, that's what I was feeling right now. Like, it's got the fire rate, kind of has the damage. I don't know. Ray guns. I call this the Death Ray. The Ray gun, whatever. Is this Death Ray or Ray Gun? What is this called? You know what? Here, let's find out together. What's the next vote? I don't want to talk about that one. I sometimes forget the name. Yeah, it is Death Ray. It is Death Ray. Yeah. So the candy corn. Why are you putting it in B tier? This weapon is locked to physical, which makes it pretty much useless in the 160s. I've been there. I've done that. I've given it like triple crit damage, Totally Rockin' Out, all the perks you want to have on it. It will absolutely annihilate a physical smasher. It will annihilate a mini boss if you have the right element, which you shouldn't be banking on. Why the community is leaning so heavily on B tier, I don't know, but I'm putting that one in F tier. This is the buzz cut. Let's see how consistent the community is. Just between me and you, this is you watching the recorded version. Stream chat should ignore me right now. This needs to be in C tier. We watched this happen in the launcher tier list where everybody put the bazooka above the trash cannon, even though the trash cannon has identical stats other than it's cheaper and more cost effective. I was like, guys, this is an upgraded bazooka. What are you doing right now? Yeah, C tier right next to the hunter killer is exactly where the buzz cut should be. And I'm gonna take a sip of water and clear my throat while we watch this next vote start. Ooh, the bundle bus. Bundle bus used to be S tier. Nowadays, it is completely obsolete in my mind. There are everything you want this weapon to do. Storm King crystals, mist monsters, mini bosses, smashers. Everything you want this weapon to do is completely... it's done by something better. After the Xenon bow came to the game, the crystals, it's best with a Xenon bow. It's most cost effective with a Xenon bow. Mist monster killers are everywhere. You guys are saying A tier. I'll put it in B tier. That's kind of where I put the deatomizer nowadays. It's just fallen from grace. Like, it just doesn't do anything that well anymore. And that's an obsolete weapon. I want to skip the vote, but that screwed up a lot of people before, and I don't want to do that again. So, yeah, when the voting slows down, I'll skip it. Just be ready, everybody. Don't spam F on the wrong weapon. It looks like we're all on the same page. Let's get to the next one right here. Ooh, yep, see, X on the left here. So, Blizzard Blitzer is famously, I've said it many times. If you look at the raw base numbers, it's like the highest DPS AR in the game if you factor in reload. That's not strictly accurate once the perks all come into play, but this is a projectile weapon, so you have to lead those snowballs. It's locked to water. It's got some excellent 6 perks that can freeze enemies, which is really good. You guys are saying A tier. I mean, sure, it's a fun weapon if you want to make it work. It will kill the targets you're shooting at. It's not that useful in my opinion, but A tier, all right. I see what you're saying. Blackout AR is easy S tier. The weapon itself is not that good. The weapon damage is like A or B tier. It's really not that good. It's inaccurate, fires and bursts. It's not that good. However, the black metal 6 perk is wildly strong. I have made numerous videos on this weapon, and I will make more. If you go to my fun loadouts and like sort by most popular, yeah, strongest build I've ever seen is featuring this weapon. It is a monster weapon if you take advantage of that 6 perk. I would say the Blackout AR is S tier more as a black metal 6 perk delivery weapon rather than the weapon itself being very strong. So if you're a noob watching this video and you have no idea what the black metal AR is, just be sure to use it right. Don't run this weapon with a random build and expect it to do anything. Cowgirl, thank you for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate it. Beat Blaster, let's see what you guys do with that one. Yeah, we're all across the board because it's kind of low damage. It is, but it pierces enemies, shoots and bursts. It's got the Dancing 6 perk, which makes you very, very safe when enemies are around you and they start dancing and they can't attack you. That's really good for you to stay alive. And it's got range. I think I said range. I don't know. I got 5 fingers here, but it's kind of across the board. Looks like B tier is winning. I think that's fair enough. It's a strong weapon if you use the right build, but it's not exceptional. B tier is exactly where that should be, and that's the vote restarting. All right, here's the final tally. Honestly, looks pretty good. I think there are a couple of picks here that don't... Oh, I thought they fixed this. Oh, no. Am I supposed to, like, refresh the page? Tiermaker's been having an issue with this, where you are supposed to be able to click through this list at the end. It looks like it's trying to, but failing. Either way, I think there are a couple of opinion picks in here. I think my list very closely mirrors the one that I uploaded on YouTube recently, and I've been pretty consistent about that, I think. But yeah, if you guys ever want to vote again, you know, subscribe. I might do more of these on the channel. There should be a link in the description below to a vote that you guys can do watching on YouTube. I'm going to try to make one of these lists that's like permanently available so you guys can vote in perpetuity and see where things lie with that. Other than that, thanks for watching. Subscribe again. I'm saying it again. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a nice... Get some ice cream.